Hi all, alcohol, a painful journey. I'll get to a few comments saying I should smile more, but this is quite it's a very serious subject. However, I'm going to go through my journey. It started when I was about 14. Had a few drinks with some of the guys in the pub. Nobody seemed to bother so much in those days. There was no ID checks or anything. So we used to pop down a couple of pints of lager or ordinary bitter really in those days. Not every night, but as we got a little bit older, 16, 17, it became more regular. And I played in a band, just go to band practice, have a few cans there, a few cans at each other's house. Nothing major, just 3-4% stuff. I don't remember Ace Lager. It was dreadful stuff really, but we used to drink that. It was really cheap. And then from then on, I did an engineering HND. I didn't like the job. I was working in some sort of, I was working with a big company. I didn't like all the corporate structure. And I was drinking a little bit then, but not too bad. I was pretty sociable then. Thought about my dad's home brew. Now, there's no checking what strength that was, but I know that I used to have quite a high tolerance to that, because I used to decant it out of from a bottle into a big jug. When they used to go away, because didn't go on holiday with them when I was 16, 17, I used to obviously raid the wash house place we lived in a police house. It had a big sort of outhouse area. There's hundreds of bottles of this beer, so I used to invite a couple of lads down. On a Saturday, we took to watch the football or something, or whatever we were doing. Play football, I can't remember. Or play in the band. Anyway, I developed this tolerance to it, because I remember they used to come down about 12 o'clock, midday. A few cans, and I used to see them, because we lived in this police house behind the police station, at a place called Morpeth, Small Market Town. And they left 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the evening. I could see them staggering like this along the grassed area past the police station. And I didn't seem to have any symptoms of that at all. I was fine. So I used to go out a little bit later, about 8:30, have a few more drinks, have a game of pool with somebody else. I never really had any problems at that age. So I hated this job that I was doing, the profession, we're going to call it. And when I was 20, they brought this guy in above me who was the son of a director. I thought, bollocks this, I'm not doing this anymore. So I went on holiday for 6 weeks with a woman I'd met. And I packed the job in. My dad was like horrified. Then I decided to join the police. Now, because I was a social drinker, I fitted in with the police guys and girls immediately, because I could drink as much as them, the older ones, you know. I had this tolerance to this home brew stuff. And from there, I moved to London. I went to South London then. And there was a police club there, nearby there, and a guy I knew his brother had a club as well. A lot of drinking down there. And then I moved from there on promotion in my 20s to the West End of London, West End Central. Now that to me was heaven really. It was like Disneyland, because lots of pubs there. I enjoyed my job, I loved it. I was doing well on my job. I was on the end of the underground line as well. I was married by then. My wife didn't like me drinking, didn't like me socialising, just didn't like me. So then I started to drink a bit more after more shifts, even to the point when we used to finish early at 6:30 in the morning. We'd sometimes go to Borough Market, where the pubs were open, and at times we used to have a few pints. The pubs in the morning were really busy. You'd be surprised. I was very surprised. There's post office workers, you know, there's people from hospitals, doctors, nurses, just other shift workers really. Lots of police in there, fire service and all that sort of thing. Air crew. Even people who worked in nightclubs who'd finished work at 3, 4 in the morning used to go there. It was sort of their night time, or my night time, our night time. And we used to get a few pints in there. And the odd occasion, we used to then go from the market into the West End, have a little bite to eat somewhere, a little Italian cafe, I remember, just off Connery Street. And then we'd go into the normal hour pubs that opened at 11 a.m. And then we'd have a couple in there, especially if we didn't have to go to work that night, following night. I remember one particular day, we'd done this Borough Market, I think it was the Thursday morning, I can't remember, I think we had a long weekend off or something. The shift patterns were always changing. So I was quite excited to go to this Borough Market that morning. So I thought, oh, I can drink. My wife was away. I can drink from 6:30 in the morning for the whole weekend. How do you get excited about that? But I did. I was only young and crazy. So I went to this Borough Market, and we ended up going to the pubs in the West End again around Soho. and the City of London, all over the place. Me and a couple of other lads, and we ended up sort of just drinking all day. But Ben and I hadn't any sleep. We'd been working all night. Then we went to the market, a few pints there, then we started to hit the pubs in the West End. Then we just carried on drinking. We popped back to have something to eat somewhere, and then kept on drinking. But there was no mobile phones for anybody to check up on you. But we were young and fit and had a bit of cash and whatnot. And then we decided to, this Thursday night, hit this club, me and one of the other lads hit this club called Hombres. It was 50 pence a drink or something in there then. It was a long time ago. But you know what it's like when you're 3 shoots to the wind, you're up for anything, aren't you? Up for a dance and messing around and all this sort of carry on. So we drank all the way through that till about 3 in the morning as well. You know, all the way from 6 in the morning, 3 in the morning. Then we went back to the section house and had a few cans in there. And then eventually I managed to get the underground to go home on the Friday morning. So my train was the Central Line, and I must have fallen asleep on the Central Line and gone backwards and forwards about 4 times, because when I woke up it was about midday. Feeling terrible on this train. I was just falling asleep in one of the corner seats against the glass partition. I staggered off the train midday on the Friday, so I'd been drinking all the time from the Thursday morning, I think it was, all the way through, 24 hours really, and I got off the train, I felt dreadful. First thing I did was go into a pub in Ebbing High Street and have a couple of liveness in there. And then eventually got home at some point and just slept for like 24 hours. It took me days to get over that binge. It wasn't a binge, I was a heavy drinker anyway. And that just shows the sort of days we used to have. And then from then on, I just went back to sort of a little bit of sobriety, drinking socially again, and have the odd mad day like that again. So I knew then I had issues really with alcohol. And as time went on, my wife took me to the doctors a couple of times, and the doctor said, how much you're drinking? Obviously you tell lies. You say you're drinking 5 when you're having 15. And nothing was done about it. And my daughter came along and then got into more heavy drinking really. I was still working, still functioning pretty well, doing okay, but I knew the drink was paramount in my mind. It was a big thing for me. I used to enjoy the drink, and it would take away some of the anxiety. I thought it was to take away the anxiety, so the pressures of family life, this sort of thing. And I eventually retired and then returned back up north after the marriage was dissolved really, and that's when a really dangerous drinking started. I ended up in the flat of my own near Newcastle, and that's when the pain really hit, because I became a bit lonely, a bit depressed. I had a bit of money in the bank, I had all the time in the world. It was the worst thing I could have done to come back to the northeast, because I knew the area, I knew some people, I knew where the pubs were that were pretty good. It was much cheaper to drink in the northeast than it was in London, and I just basically set myself a plan to just drink, I suppose. Not consciously, but that's what I fell into really. And I was stuck then. I felt totally trapped. My daughter was only about 5 or 6 then, and I was just trapped in this vicious cycle of drinking, loneliness, depression, flaccid into a mess, and my life became painful. That's why I use the word painful. Everything was painful. I was physically hurting. I had symptoms of liver disease. I got into a total mess. I came off for a couple of years and then back on again, various relapses, and I started becoming affected mentally. I think I've got over that now. I hope I have. I became very emotional. I'm still very emotional now about life. You know, the slightest thing will start me off. I mean, I've been with this beautiful girl now for about over a year, and she understands. She's a very clever woman, what I'm like. And even bits of music and things, and I'll start to cry, you know. And I don't know if it's some of the effect of the alcohol or regrets I've had, or the fact I think I wasted my time. But I managed to turn a corner. And the pain's still there, the pain of regretting why I didn't do certain things. But at the end of the day, I've got over the trauma of what I had, the symptoms of alcohol abuse, and the liver issues have settled down. I'm pretty healthy. I'm back in the gym. I'm traveling. I'm doing well in my life, to be fair, after 5 years sober. And I hope never to relapse again. After the doctor told me if I do relapse, I'll be dead in 6 months. It's a bit of a start warning, isn't it? Can't afford relapse. The pain is always there. The regret, because I didn't set out to do this. I know I hurt my dad, who died 3 years ago, because he thought I was a drunk. I don't think he really understood the addiction side of things. My mother does now, she's 93, but she still thinks that people who drink too much aren't that bright. And I said, there's a lot of bright people drink, it's an addiction. The general public, I don't think, realise it's an addiction. You don't realise that it is until you've lived with somebody, or you know somebody who's been an addict, or you're an addict yourself. Because no one starts off in life to become an addict, become an alcoholic, to destroy their life, destroy their career, and to, in some cases, a lot of cases, die early. I was reading some figures the other day of women who had a 37% increase in females who are dying of alcohol-related liver disease in 5 years. It's a massive increase in 5 years. There's still thousands of people dying all the time in the UK from alcohol-related diseases, and even pneumonia can be a symptom of alcohol issues, because it affects not only the liver, it affects the pancreas, the kidneys. It causes, I can certainly help push on a bit. Cancer, certain cancers can be attributed to alcohol as well. A lot of alcoholics smoke as well. The two things combined aren't good. You get throat cancer, or see high chance of getting liver cancer. There's lots of problems associated with alcohol and accidents, and another thing which is on the increase as well is suicides. It's a terrible thing to talk about, but that's on the increase. You've got to be very wary of your mental health, which is something I have talked about a little bit on here, but it wasn't mentioned much by the medics to me, although the medics did save my life. And there's one thing I just want to emphasise here. If you do need help, get some help as soon as you can. As soon as you feel that you're out of control, as soon as you start thinking, I need to have a drink in the morning, as soon as you start to feel rough more than once a week, as soon as you start to feel that I need a drink, you need to get help then. Don't wait until you're really struggling like I was, because it may be too late. I think I caught it just in time. I've been very lucky, I've been very disciplined. I've been lucky in the fact I haven't had to work, I've got a little bit of cash, and I've got no stress. That's a big thing as well. So you need to catch it as early as you can. It's a big killer. And look, the addiction will always sit on your shoulder, because I relapsed many times. Even once I've been sober 8 years. So it's not a nice drug. No drugs are good unless they're maybe prescribed by a doctor. There's always side effects, but alcohol is the most widely available, the most socially acceptable, and it's the biggest killer. If you benefit from the channel, then please subscribe. And if you want to leave a comment, then please do. I'll cover any subjects. If you want to support the channel, then I've got a link, buy me a coffee link on there as well. Just keep in touch, basically. There's lots of members on the channel now. Get in touch with them as well. There's a lot of clever people on there, a lot of people with past experience of alcoholism, recovery, and from the medical side. And we're here to help each other, really, aren't we? That's the main focus of what I'm doing, to try and warn people of the dangers and be safe and be healthy. I'll speak to you soon.